Hey, what's up guys? My name is Andy. Welcome to the show. Today, we're going to talk about a Red Bull watch that TUDOR unveiled earlier this year. And it is the Alinghi Racing Red Bull FXD from TUDOR. This one is a cool watch and it is made from different materials such as carbon, black carbon. The case is all black carbon, and some features of the watch are in titanium as the crown and the case back, and in the chrono, the pushers. But today we're going to talk about just the diver, the FXD, and this is a cool watch. I actually like this watch not much as the original one. The original FXD for me is kind of like the coolest watch that TUDOR has released in 42 millimeters. And yeah, it's kind of cool. I really like the combination of things that Red Bull and TUDOR make for these watches. I don't actually, though, let's get this out of the way. I don't like the chrono. I really like the FXD, the diver, the normal one. The chrono for me is too much. It's kind of like it's trying to make the Pelagos something that the Pelagos is not, and I don't actually like that. So the FXD, let's focus on the FXD, and this is the one that I actually held in my hands, put on my wrist, and it's just amazing. So it is obviously 42 millimeters in diameter. It is actually the same thinness as the original Marine National one, that is 12.5 millimeters in thickness. The log-to-log is the same, 52 in the bars, or in the fixed bars that this watch has, and 50 on the log-to-log if you measure the tips of the log, not the bars, but because the bars are a little bit curved, and that's where you get the 52 millimeters. Obviously, with the strap, it gets up to 54 millimeters from log to log, but you don't notice that much of length on the watch when you're wearing it, especially that this is a black carbon. The black color helps this watch, that it makes it a little bit smaller. Then you have the color of the bezel insert and the dial. So the dial is a very dark blue, a beautiful, beautiful, kind of like a reddish blue, and the bezel is black, almost anthracite. It's just kind of cool how it changes with the light. This bezel is kind of interesting. I really like the color the color combination that has with the black and the blue. The blue is kind of amazing. It just goes with the, with the theme of the watch, that is a blue and red. So the blue is kind of reddish and is very dark. It's awesome, super matte, and goes incredibly well with the red seconds hand and the red Pelagos on the dial. So as already said, the crown and the case back are made of titanium. They're not made of carbon. Some color accentuations to the watch. So while I was filming this video, I noticed that the bezel looked a bit different from ceramic or brushed ceramic insert. And that is because the watch has not a ceramic insert, it has a carbon composite, a black carbon composite insert. That is just amazing. The bezel itself is titanium, and it feels exactly the same as the FXD. But the look of the carbon is amazing on this watch, and it is obviously lubed. And it's obviously bidirectional, 120 clicks bezel. I really like how this bezel clicks. It feels incredibly good, and it actually could be a fidget spinner on your wrist because it's just so comfortable to move it. It's almost too loose, but it's not too tight, and it's actually super cool to turn, and it feels right. Feels incredible. It is very, very grippy. So the watch on the wrist wears amazing because of the color, and actually the color of the bezel and the color of the dial helps to for the feeling of this watch to make it smaller. It actually feels so much smaller than the FXC Marine National, because the Marine National is all the same color. The dial and the insert, the bezel, they're the same color. It's just a color all throughout the watch, and that makes the watch a little bit bigger. And this one has black bezel and blue dial, so it just cuts with the colors, and it actually feels a little bit smaller because you can notice more the dial. It appears that the Pelagos right now, as the Pelagos 39, the written word is Pelagos in red as the red second hand. But this red is different from the red on this watch that I have on my wrist. It's kind of like a little bit brighter. It's more Red Bull red than this red that is more kind of like subdued red, almost burgundy. And the watch looks and feels amazing. It doesn't feel too crazy and a lot of red. It actually complements the watch really well. And the strap, for me, the strap is amazing. And why do I continue with the strap? Because the strap is blue, almost the same color as the dial. It's just a little bit darker. And at the tip of the end of the strap, you have red stitching. And it looks amazing. It actually looks good and goes with the watch. For me, I think that this new fabric strap is better, so much better and miles better than the FXD. I don't know what it is, but it's softer. It is better feeling on your wrist, and the Velcro is so much more grippier. I really like the new Velcro that they implement here. It actually feels nice. I don't know what was with the FXD, with the original, that I thought that felt a little bit rough and makes me sweat a little bit more on hotter days. As you already know, or if you don't know, I owned an FXD back in 2022, and it was an incredible watch. I really liked it, but I was looking for something like this. When this came around, I immediately sold it and got this watch. Now, I do have regrets of selling that watch. It was an M in 2022, and this watch, it's kind of like, it was going to be cool because that watch I could, pass it through my son because my son was born in the year 2022. So I actually regret that I sell that one. Luckily for me, this watch has come down in prices in the secondary market, and ADs actually are giving me discounts on this watch, if you can find one, because they're very, very difficult to find. Now, about the FXD, the new FXD, Red Bull Racing Alinghi, this one, I feel that if they only left the case back with the engraving of Alinghi, that would be amazing, it would be cool, and the watch would be so much more subtle and not too themed about the Alinghi racing team. I really like that in the chapter ring there was the words of Alinghi Racing Red Bull team. For me, that just I don't know. It just I don't think that looks incredibly well. But if you're a fan of Red Bull and the Alinghi team, maybe that's a cool thing for you. But for me, it's a pass. If that chapter ring would be only with markers, with minute markers, that would be amazing. And actually, I consider this watch. And the good thing about this watch is that it is like $500 less than the FXD. And I don't know if this one is going to be more in production than the FXD, the Marine Nationale, because I haven't seen Marine Nationales anywhere in boutiques, anywhere where I live here in Mexico. I just spotted one in a mall, and actually it was online, but you cannot receive any discounts. So yeah, I don't know if I'd buy from them. I actually want a AD that, give me something else than just buying the watch. But yeah, that's the first watch that I see in 2023 from the FXD. Now this one, I hope that this is more in production and gets out more, because it's a cool watch. And I think if you are on the, collecting journey of only Pelagos watches from TUDOR, this one is a cool watch to have, and maybe is going to be a collectible down the road, like in maybe 30 years or something. But yeah, guys, I really like this watch. The movement is obviously the same as the FXD. Everything is the same as the FXD. The log to log is 52, and the log width is 22. Obviously fixed bars, and I don't know how durable this case is going to be. I think it's going to be super durable. But yeah. And actually, the weight, I don't actually measure the weight, but For me, it just feels exactly the same as titanium in the weight. I think you're nor gaining or subtracting some, grams here to the watch. It feels great on the wrist. It actually seems smaller on the wrist, and the colors go well. For me, I'm not gonna buy that watch. I actually am on the list with my AD on an FXD. Hopefully in August I get mine again, and hopefully I don't regret, purchasing and selling it again. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments down below, what else do you want to know about this watch? And if you like this video, click the like button and subscribe. It really helps to the channel. And if you don't like to do that, well, thanks for watching. And remember, guys, I'm Andy, and I'll be here spending time watching time. Oh, and also one more thing.
Have you ever had a Red Bull? I never had a Red Bull before, but I had a Red Bull last night. I really like Red Bull.
Really?